Welcome back. Thanks for liking and subscribing. The other day when Bunting come talk about Jamaica not achieve no meaningful economic growth. I lie, the man I tell you now, I'm going to prove it to you right now that Jamaica is doing very well on the world stage economically. Wanna hit the like button, people. This chart come from an article that's written by 3 academics. An IMF advisor, professor from the University of California, and senior fellow from Stanford University, name brand academic institutions. It was written on March 27, 2024, less than 3 months after this article was when Bunting come talking foolishness. The title of the article is Sustained Debt Reduction, the Jamaican Exception. Big up Andrew and Nigel. Night and day story. So them are people that will trick up people just for any reason whatsoever, you know. As me say, them just want to get their hand by the kitty bag. So let me read the first part of this now. Seeing at a time when many countries, large and small, are confronting heavy and growing public debt concerns, Jamaica offers a rare example of a country that succeeded in substantially reducing its debt, according to a paper written by the individuals I just mentioned a while ago. Jamaica cut its debt as a percentage of its gross domestic product, half from 144% in a 2012 portion time to just 72% in 2023. Because what them paper you do is they do what is called a trajectory, which means to say they are looking at the rate of growth and they are looking at the trends. So if the country continues on the same path, this is what it will look by a certain period. That's what it simply means. You don't see what go on in 2012, right? You don't see how far, way up above the 140% debt to GDP ratio, you know. And then look now between 2012 2020, but just look at the downward trend of the debt coming from 2012. Just look, appeared downward, right? Downward. In a 2020, when the pandemic came up, even in the pandemic, it's still never high like what it did under the PMP. It just go above the 100% within the range there, a little bit below, based on what we are looking at here. So from where we are now, 2020 to now, the debt keeps going down. And by 2028, we are going to be like less than 60%. Better than many first world countries. And Bunting come talk about economy now perform well. You see how they try to fool up and trick people all the while. Go into the comments and make me know what I think right now. We're going to listen to Arbin Hill 9 months ago doing an interview overseas, speaking about how we were able to get through the pandemic and Jamaica's growth.
We took over in 2016, the Andrew Holness administration took over. We made a commitment to the IMF at the time that we would continue to make sure we become fiscally disciplined. Right through that period Fiscal. Of time, we moved our debts down from the high, as you might recall, at 147 when we took over, must have been in the 135 or thereabouts, and move it down to where we are today at 77. And going in the direction of 60, we had planned to get there by 2016. The pandemic interrupted. Right. We moved it to 2018, but we might get there before 2018. And all through that, we've gone through the pandemic, spent 100 billion Jamaican dollars we didn't plan to spend, haven't borrowed any money, and we haven't raised taxes in 7 years. So that kind of fiscal discipline, the rating agencies have been watching it, and the best rating we've ever had in 24 years of S&P, we've just had the rating upgrade, and of course, we're not happy with that. We want to continue to make sure that gets to investment grade as quickly as we can. So
nobody should understand better what the S&P means, the good credit rating for Jamaica, getting the numbers to where the IMF wants to see it. Even in a manly time, and them praise manly so much, when manly withdraw from IMF are almost 70% of Jamaica end up without electricity. The PMP, them just not fiscally responsible. And some of the things Arbin Hill talk about here, so is in the tourism sector. I talk about that in my last video, how Ed Bartlett always a hold down the tourism industry and get him on, and nobody can argue with that. And then they talk about the even in the pandemic, because we had the call center industry, we were able to easily transition to work from home. Enough Jamaicans welcome the whole work from home situation, and people who had the brick and mortar businesses, they were happy as well, because they could have cut back a whole lot of costs while getting the same kind of work. Just the other day, Tufton came out and he spoke about scholarships for people in the medical industry, whether you talk about pharmacy technicians, nurses, social workers, or anything. These are people who are going to contribute to key sectors, you know. See, agriculture, there with dash with agriculture, and we can produce some of the greatest agricultural products there is around the world. So these are the things that PMP should be focusing on. Instead, the PMP has always been focusing on winning elections, and as soon as them win elections, they wreck the economy. Bunting attack foolishness, either because he want to deliberately fool the people, or no. There is no way that we're going to move backward with them backward thinking people here. The more they spread the propaganda from the hyena propaganda machine, is the more we're going to bring facts. And the more I'm going to ask you to like and share and comment and make sure say send this to the brilliant young Jamaican them. Now is the time to get the young youth them to listen. Whether you want to learn a skill, or for the one them who want to go nursing school, them are going to all kind of incentives right now. All kinds of scholarships. There are no excuses. Jamaica is in the best place it has ever been. We can go on article after article from back in the day. I'm going to show the one more right now. The PMP irresponsible with money. This party shouldn't even be a political party in Jamaica right now because of how irresponsible and destructive they have been to the Jamaican people. The Prime Minister's comments at the recent People's National Party conference were a reminder that a PMP government has never delivered economic prosperity. So not just the one that was in office, Portia, at the time, but the ones who were there before. Comrades simply do not know how to facilitate economic growth and do not understand that the government is not the engine for economic growth. That is the job of the private sector. So build up businesses, get people employed. The government is a facilitator through supportive taxation, reducing red tape and permitting education and crime reduction. On all these inputs, the government continues to fail, thereby making economic growth more difficult. The PMP has governed in periods of worldwide economic prosperity while our economy languished behind. And we know that because that's what happened in FinSac. Over the past 42 years, the aggregate economic growth achieved by successive PMP governments is negative. We're always worse off economically under the PMP. The people do not need patience. They need change of government. And I'm glad that the people did. I'm glad they kicked them out of office. The PMP's dismal performance is not limited to the economy. It is also clueless on crime reduction. Again, look at the period since independence and the record will show the highest periods of murder and the crime always occur under PMP administrators. On the social side, the PMP's great call for equality has fallen on deaf ears. Society today is as unequal as ever. The poor continue to be disproportionately affected and marginalized by regressive taxation. Papa Tax Party always attacks the people them. See, Albin Hill just talk about the fact that in 7 years, no new taxes. Clearly the better party to lead Jamaica. The poor continue to be disproportionately affected and marginalized by regressive taxation, economic stagnation, high crime, and police killings. The wannabe socialist rhetoric of the PMP is now old and stale. Old school stuff now work again. The Jamaica Labour Party gave the poor free medical service and free education, and the Socialist Party of the PMP wants to take it away. Social justice has been derailed and locked into garrisons where our people are robbed of their basic rights. The PMP has mastered the handout culture that dooms the people to dependency. The PMP is preparing us for the 2030 revision and deserves no more years. Excellent article. The PNP pretend to be the friend of the poor, but they keep the poor poor. You hear the girl just talk about it at the constituency, them even the one led by the opposition leader say, now that burial come, them can't even go at JPS because them have no account number. You cannot continue to breed a group of people in this country who continues to be a burden. And the fact that the PNP has always operated like this says they need to be voted out again. They make enough money, them can sit down, get some political education, learn some honesty, and be good and help to grow Jamaica. So you cannot build an economy by getting the people to depend on the government for handouts. You have to have an economy where people are working and contributing to the economy. Remember, I know, say once we look good on the IMF stage and we are credit worthy. Industries are looking at that, and we're gonna get so many opportunities to continue to grow our economy. And we're also seeing improvement in crime fighting as well, because more resources are being given to the officers. So I have to remember this. For all of the damage that's been done over the years with PNP being in office, mostly it's a lot of problems to fix. And yes, the other day in the local government election, enough people had complaints because apparently the government was focusing on getting the money into the kitty. So now people just have to be patient. A lot of things are happening. We just see the whole heap of buses them. The hospitals being built. All kind of things being done. These are signs of growth. Things that the PNP has never been able to achieve. So with this and many more, we know that Bunting was not telling the people the truth, and it's time for people to call these things out. We know we can't stop the propaganda machine them, but the people who know truth and the facts, are time for us to speak up, because we can't take this a foolishness in Jamaica again. This is the Steady Show saying like, share, and subscribe for more great content. Steady.